Hello everyone, welcome into my craft space. Today I wanted to show you a couple of different ways to make some page ruffles for your journals. Now if you're not a seamstress, which I definitely am not, there are other ways to make these beautiful page ruffles without having to sew, and I'm going to show you 4 different ways today, 2 that are sewing, 1 with a sewing machine, 1 without, and then 2 that don't need that at all. So hang with me and we're going to get it going. Okay, so the first page ruffle is using a sewing machine, and it's actually pretty easy. My sewing machine and I don't get along very well, but I still managed to get these cute little ruffles done, and this was from my Imagine Dragonfly journal using the kit from RachandBella Crafts that's called Imagine Dragonfly. And if you missed that, I'll put the link in the description box below, or link it at the end, and you can check that flip through out. It is a beautiful journal filled with lots of lace and trims and blue and dragonflies, and I just love it so much. But this ruffle I did make using my sewing machine. Basically, you just use your scraps of fabric and you feed it through the sewing machine, and it just kind of ruffles up. I'll put a little clip right here showing you how I did that, and like I said, super easy. You don't have to be a seamstress because nothing has to be perfect, and it looks just beautiful. You just simply feed it through the sewing machine and it stitches along until you feel like you are done. Okay, so that was way 1. Now this will be way 2, and this is with some hand sewing. And I forgot to mention, ruffles aren't just for Christmas books. This one's a Christmas book, and the next way I'm going to show you is a Christmas book. But that first one I showed you was definitely not Christmas. And then the last way that I'm going to show you is I'm going to put a lace ruffle in my gratitude journal. But this one here is hand sewing, and I just used some gold thread. Because my book has a lot of gold in it, and I thought that would match nicely if the thread is being seen at all. And I just doubled it up and already threaded the needle to spare you guys. I tied some knots at the end there. And then I have a scrap of fabric, and you can do this a couple of different ways. You can just leave it singular, maybe in a smaller length if you want, or however wide you want. I double it up here because where I'm going to put it, it's going to be able to be seen on both sides. So if I put this on my page here, I want a nice print on either side. So I've just folded it over to make like a little rectangle here that's double-sided. So I've got a nice picture on either side. And then you just start kind of down here, and you can go as far from the edge as you want. I'm just kind of going kind of in the middle, and then you go in and out with your needle, just in, out, through both sides of the fabric. And really this is super fast and doesn't take that long. Kind of reminds me of that ribbon candy that's around at the holiday time. So in, out, as many times as you can before you get to the end. And then you pull it through. And you can do each stitch individually if you want to. I just go in, out, and do it quickly. And then you kind of crunch this up as much as you want it crunched up for your ruffles. How fun and easy is this? So don't have to be very good at sewing. Sometimes it's nicer if these little ruffles are apart a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie this. So I just put 1 string through here. And again, I am no seamstress by any stretch. So if you know a better way to do this, feel free. This is just how I do it. And, you know, no worries if you do it a different way. Okay, so then I'm just going to go ahead and, whoops, I don't want to grab that end there, so we'll pull that back off. And while I've got it right there, I'm just going to make some knots. Keep the thread there, and then you can just keep going through, like through a little piece here. Hope you guys can see that. There we go. And then while it's pulling through, just put your needle back through this way. And I did that twice, so it should be good to go. I might just put it through the thread one more time, just the thread, not the fabric this time. Like I said, if you know of a better way, feel free, because I'm not a seamstress by any stretch, but I do what I can do. Okay, so then you can cut this off. And you can leave a little bit of the string hang on the edge if you want to, if you like that look. Totally fine either way. And then you can kind of work this through however you like. I kind of like these little rough edges here. And you can see, you can put the ruffle like this. I'm going to glue this on. We could have sewn it on, but it is kind of rough on the page. Let's see, is this really where I wanted this to go? I don't remember. Let's look in the second signature because I was trying to fill this up. Just make sure that was my plan. And yes, I think it was. As you guys can see, this book is just about finished. Oh no, maybe I want it to go right here. That will fill in just nicely right there. Okay, so sometimes what I do is I just try it either way. See if I like the little, the clean edge out or the ruffle edge, the ragged edge in, out, whatever. See how it lays on the paper. I do want it on this side because I only put a little bit of that sticker there. I think I'm going to put it with the rough edge on the way out, and it just makes kind of a decorated paper tab. You can put it in or out as much as you want to. I really like the look of it. Just kind of adds a little extra to the edge of your page here. Okay, and you can see it didn't really take that long, just that in, out, in, out. I don't know what that stitch is called, basic hand stitch. I don't know, I gotta let this warm up just a few more minutes. Okay, so we'll start that there. Now a really good tool to have for gluing this and for the other ones that I'm going to show you is a silicone brush of some sort. If you don't have this, you could use like your pokey tool, or you could use the end of a paintbrush, something like that, just to protect your fingers and to help make the ruffles as you're gluing along with some hot glue. Now, I suppose you could use fabric tack, especially for this one since it already has the ruffles. Trying to do that with the other ones I'm going to show you might be a little bit difficult. The hot glue is really nice because it just glues instantly and it holds right in place. So we'll see if this is warmed up and ready to go, and we'll get this one down. All right, we'll try this again. I think it's ready to go now. Yep, there we go. So that was a pretty thick bead of glue, and this fabric is fairly thin, so I don't want to push my fingers in there. So that's where this little tool comes in very handy. You can kind of pull those little pleats up there, and just like that, we have our cute little page ruffle that was hand stitched. So I showed you machine stitched and hand stitched. This is way 2. Now let's talk about our glued lace ruffle. So this is one I've done here, and it looks just so super cute. I absolutely love it. And we're gonna put one in my other book here. So we'll move this one just out of the way. We'll come back to this book in a moment. All right. So we're gonna put a little ruffle right here made with some lace. Now you want kind of a thinner, stiffer lace. This will work perfect. And let's see. I think I wanted to put something right here, although I don't know if I want it to be a ruffle there. So we'll go ahead and put it here. That was my initial plan. So with this one, you really want to have something to pleat it with. So the way I like to do it, make sure I'm on camera here, is I just put a little bit of glue. And that's kind of a big blob, but that's perfect. And press it in here, and I'm always tempted to grab it with my fingers, but that's not a good idea. It's hot. Ryobi glue is Ryobi glue guns are especially hot. All right, so we've got this down. Can touch it now. It's cooled off. Okay, so I have this huge piece of lace, and I really don't need that, but you can see it really starts to want to fold on its own, anyways. And so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna let it bunch up, kind of like this, as we glue along. So if you have those finger protectors, those are really nice. I don't seem to function properly with them, so use them if you have them. Otherwise, use one of these little silicone brushes. Okay, so I put a bead of glue down, a little line, and then I'm just going to take this and kind of bunch it along, just like so. And you can do the ridges as high or short as you like. You can end on a kind of a flat or leave it bunched up like this, either which way that you like it. And you can keep going the whole length, or you can do it shorter. I kind of like to do them a little bit shorter, just like they are maybe a page tab or something like that. And then just like that, we have our nice little ruffle, and I love the ridges that it gives when you do just like that with lace and glue. And it's nice and smooth on the other side, so no worries about warping the paper there. At least the way I've done it, it's been okay. And if we switch back to the other book here, I'll show you I've hung some little jingle bells, which I think is super cute and adds a nice extra little touch there. So I just used a bulb pen, a bulb pen here, and added a cute little jingle bell, just so you can add charms, you can add whatever you want, and that lace is a really nice place to clip things onto. Okay, so that's the third way, no sewing, just glue. And the last way is with some paper, and we're just gonna make a little paper ruffle, and you'll see it's nice and easy. So this is just a little piece of rice paper, and I have printed some of the RachandBella Crafts washi on this beautiful rice paper, which is kind of like a thin tracing paper. Let's zoom out just a little bit if we can. There we go. Okay, so so this is kind of what it looked like. It was all in one big sheet, and I've just used a little piece here. So what you want to do is you just kind of want to grab the end. Now I've torn this down just a little bit so it's nice and thin, and we're just going to make a little pleat. Now you can lay it on your desk and go back and forth like a fan fold if you want to. I just kind of keep pleating like this, and we'll move this to the side here. A little less visual distraction. And so when you've got it like this, you just kind of keep pleating. Now it's going to want to curl on one end or the other and kind of go like around, but you can just kind of keep pulling your pleats however you want them to go. And I love doing this with tracing paper or rice paper or this or even onion paper. Any of those thinner papers, vellum would probably work because it is a little easier to manipulate and control, at least I feel like, or any of your thinner papers, printed thinner papers. Might be a little more difficult if you have more layers or more texture paper. All right, so once we get to the end, it is a little bit more of a challenge to pleat that last little bit, but we got it. Okay, and so you can see, you can kind of pull them out like a little accordion. And you could still run thread through this if you wanted to, just to give it that sewn look. And we'll go ahead and put this right in my book. And I think we're gonna put it right in here. This one just needs a little something. And you can easily glue these. You can glue them with double-sided tape if you want to. You can add ribbon, you can add lace, lots of decorations, buttons, whatever you want. I'm just going to glue it flat on here like a page tab. I think The decorations on this paper are beautiful, so I'm not going to cover them up too much. Put a good smear of glue, and you can use any glue that you like. You don't have to use a hot glue. I'm just using hot glue because it's right here, it's ready, and it's instant. And I love the way when it instantly glues, it keeps the ridges exactly how I want them to lay down on the page. Now you can use your bone folder and kind of stretch this out if you want to. Kind of burnish it down, if you will, but I am happy with the way that it's just laying there. Ugh, dreaded glue strings. All right, and we'll do just this end piece, and we should be good to go. Again, really watch your fingers, especially if you're using a Ryobi. Collect all those glue strings. Aha! And look at that. Just like that, we have a beautiful page ruffle that makes like a nice little tab. On this side, not quite so attractive. We could have glued another piece to the back of it and just left it, decorative on this side. I do actually kind of like how that looks. I might put a little piece of ribbon so it doesn't look quite as white or something right there. Maybe I'll put a little piece of this vintage rickrack I have on my desk, and we'll just see how that looks. Ah, yes, very cute, I think. We'll go ahead and do that. Let's see, just right there. And we'll just put this right along here. I'll use this, silicone tool to glue it down. Got my thread hanging out, stuck in the glue strings. There we go. So now you can see it just looks like a little decorative tab on this side. That golden rickrack really sets it off. We could add some ink there just to kind of color it on this side as well, but I love the color on this side that we're already getting. And again, we could put some little piece of lace or a button, or just leave it like this, and I think it adds just a nice little flair to the edge of the page, especially if you're using it with onion paper, tracing paper, any of those kind of things to print your washi on. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and have learned a few different ways to make some ruffles, even if you're not a sewer. And let me know down below in the comments if you like to put page ruffles in your books. I seem to really enjoy them and have included them in at least the last 3 or 4 books. So I hope you guys enjoy them too, and will make some of your own. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.